members. General Phahlane, you once the most senior position in the South African Police Service as the Acting National Commissioner. What would be the procedure when a person is arrested and detained with a device? Can that device be taken from such a person who is now a suspect without that person's consent? And moreover, can the device be taken from that person / suspect and the data on that person's device be downloaded without a warrant or without his or her consent?
Honorable Chair, I choose not to answer that question in detail because I happen to be a complainant in that case. Those who did the investigation and the prosecutor that dealt with the matter are better placed to answer it. So I am conflicted. I'm not going to go into that matter. Safe to say, there is nothing unlawful. Anyone who's arrested, his or her belongings are taken from that person. If that person is going to be detained in the cells, whether it is your belt, your tie, your shoelaces, whether you've got the cell phone, money, it gets removed from the person, and we don't need consent. That gets deposited into a prisoner's property register, SAP 22. So you don't need anyone's permission. I'll end there. As to the investigation will carry. I happen to have been arrested by the same IDEC rogue unit, and they wanted my phone.
Can I do what some of the honorable members also do, please? I've asked you a question. You said you've been in a similar situation and you do not want to respond. Please, with respect, I don't want some long-winded answer, because the response from you is absolutely shocking, coming from a senior police officer. We all know when you get into
you can tone down a little bit so that me and you are engaging on the level where
please,
I can hear.
I've got the microphone. When you are arrested and detained in a police station, yes, especially your shoelaces, so that you can't be accused of hanging yourself the next morning, or any other clothing or whatever will be taken, and it will be put in a register, but you will sign for it, so that you know it's your shoes, it's your shoelaces, and it's your cell phone the next day. But you cannot take a person's cell phone, open it, and download the information on that person's phone. And I'm saying this because there's two examples, and I'm not pulling it out of my head. Right here before us, Minister Mkhunu, they came to his place where he was staying in Pretoria. They wanted his cell phone. Mr. Kat Matlala, all this data that's been downloaded, including the messages that I read back to you from Brigadier Macheng and the interaction with Mr. Matlala, came from his phone, but there is a document that General Kumalo placed before this honorable committee and the Matlanga to show he had consented. They can download it from his phone. Now, the question is this. These WhatsApp messages which you read with great glee, between Trent and McBride. Where did you get that from?
Honorable
Did you
Chair,
get the permission of Ms. Trent and Mr. McBride for these messages to be placed before this honorable committee?
Honorable Chair, I don't know where the other part of the response which is attributed to me comes from. When someone is arrested, you take the properties, the belongings on that person. They go into an SAP 22. You don't need the permission. All what you need is acknowledgement that these are the things that you have taken from me. They go into the police custody, into the safe. And I said, and I'm not going to change, anything else that has to do with investigation, because you used this as an example, anything that relates to the investigation, including the downloading, I say that question is better answered by the investigating officers of the matter. Because while we are taking a long turn about Minister Mkunu was not arrested, General Sivia was not arrested. It was a warrant, a search and seizure warrant, which was at play. That is not applicable in the case where the arrest is made. Kat Matlala, they went and searched the prison cells. A cell phone was found in his possession. It's not because of a search warrant coming from somewhere, but Chair, the people who are better placed to deal with the situation that is being outlined, because I'm conflicted, I'm not going to be talking to. In respect
General
of...
Phahlane, I asked you, where did you get this information from? These WhatsApps that you put in your document, which has now been referred to by Honorable Shongwe, where did you get it from? Did you get the permission?
I got them from where you got those text messages that you were sharing with me.
The text messages I shared with you, I told you where they come from. It comes from Kat Matlala's telephone and the data on his phone, which was downloaded and retrieved by General Khumalo and his team with his consent. It was shown to all of us. That is why we could refer to it. Can you give me the same assurance that you got the consent?
I'm not going to give assurance. I'm going to confirm that I got them in the same way that you got those WhatsApp messages. And there were people investigating this case that people were able to build it into a docket. This comes, it's part of the docket, and you will have the privilege of talking to the the prosecutor who's coming here. And those questions, I'm going to leave them there.
Now, I put it to you, and if that is your response, this was unlawfully obtained?
Can we get Honorable Nombal?
Chair, I thought you will intervene, but I think the evidence leader is abusing the platform. And he's not only abusing the platform, he's also abusing us as members of this committee. One, he is now prosecuting the witness. He is not leading evidence. Number two, they had an opportunity because he consulted with the witness. This is not an ambush. He knows these documents because they were brought to him before today's proceedings. So if he has questions over the authenticity of these documents, he was supposed to raise those questions during consultation, not here. Now, he waits for all of us to ask questions, and when we're done, he brings in new issues. He is abusing, and the tone, Chair, is unwarranted. Because he's now shouting at the witness. He must maintain a professional standard at all times, because he is trained to do so. It can be justifiable with us because we are politicians. But he is a senior counsel. The manner in which he is addressing the witness is uncalled for. and it must be condemned with the contempt it deserves. So, Chair, I'm calling a point of order on the evidence leader. What he is doing is completely out of order.
And I hear Honorable Shongwe.
Chair, ngicela ukuthi usisize la. It is my understanding that, Chair, if you check this document, it has about 1,314 pages, this one. And the other one about 600, the same as the other one. Does Mr. Arends are trying to tell us ukuthi we read all these documents that we always get from them and authorized to get them from, to get these documents from them. And I think he's here for one reason, that if we get this statement, we get a statement signed, an affidavit and all the annexures from the SC. Is he telling ukuthi usifake enkingeni nathi sesenkingeni for ukuthi siphathe ama-SMS ama-WhatsApp angekho emthethweni ngenxa yakhe? I think, Chair, that one we should see manje, because if we are now in trouble, ukuthi siphethe ama-WhatsApp angekho emthethweni ubani wavumela utheza lakithi, because every document we get from him. So I don't understand this, Chair. Can we fix that, please? Can I get it clarity as well?
Honorable Matthys.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. We've been sitting here hoping that you would intervene. So number one, the first thing that our evidence leader, senior counsel, said when he started was that as the members of parliament have been doing. He's not a member of parliament. He's our evidence leader and he's supposed to lead evidence, number one. Again, we just spoke about this earlier, Chair. Again, the hostility in his voice on this is not neutral. And this is exactly what he did, the same thing when Honorable James brought these messages in here. And then to echo the same point, is that we can't be getting documents here that haven't gone through the screen and then to be questioning the witness here, how he got the documents. They were distributed, we found them here on our table, we've been going in and out here. So we have evidence leaders that are not, the documents that we shared from Home Affairs, we were very clear that we got that through a whistleblower. There's some very private information in there and it mustn't be circulated publicly. So, Chair, you have to lead and you have to, we can't always be intervening on this. And perhaps the evidence leader right now, the senior counsel, he must rest because he's even bringing us into disrepute over here now. It's not fair on the witness. We are members of parliament. How we engage him should be very different on how he does it. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I think I anchor, my colleagues, other honourable members, because this is for the second time. When Honourable James gave us information, the same question was asked. But today is even different. We were given this document by our team, for God's sake. Now, if we have to interrogate the witness before us, we look stupid, Chair, to say where this thing comes from. I think the evidence leader and his team, the legal team, were supposed to ask him then, not here. Now we have this in front of us. It's not fair, Chair. Please.
Advocate Arends.
Honourable Chair, the document that before you, including these WhatsApp messages, were additional documents that were annexed by General Phahlane to his supplementary affidavit. They do not come from us. In the first place, when this matter has been dealt with respect in this honourable committee, when these WhatsApps, or some of them, were first introduced by Honourable James and Mr. McBride was giving evidence. You may recall that I had indicated at the end of that exchange, because we are not allowed as evidence leaders to object. At the end of that exchange, I indicated to you that this was an unfair ambush on the witness, and that the witness, in this case Mr. McBride, should request from Honourable James where she got these documents from, get copies of it, and get legal advice on the lawfulness or otherwise of it being introduced, even under circumstances of parliamentary privilege. Now, again, because of our time constraint, I didn't have the opportunity of raising it earlier with General Phahlane, and this is the first opportunity I have to do so. I will leave it there. I think I have made the point that General Phahlane is party to unlawful conduct, and by actually making these WhatsApps available outside of Parliament. They've been made available outside of this forum. So I will leave it there. I've made the submission. General Phahlane has responded to it. I'll move on to my next question.
Yeah, I think what we,
Chair, just one more thing, please. The evidence leader, Chair, cannot say
let
that
me,
he only got notice. This thing was here
let
when we
me-
walked in here, when he was
let
doing
me
it in
speak,
the beginning.
let me speak, Honorable Member. Number one, the point of order that members have raised is sustained. I do not think that the witness is being fairly treated. Especially that, and the honorable members are right that during the consultation process, and when the supplementary affidavit was made, is submitted to yourselves as evidence leaders, and maybe even before the proceedings started, the members could have been warned, or the witness could have been reminded that there is this annexures that you have presented before us. There is no way, as the legal team, we can hide them away from members, because you submitted them to us, but we will go and inform the members and also remind you that there are question marks on how the information would have been obtained. But in these proceedings, there are witnesses who have come before us and have said it before us in these proceedings that they have information. I remember, I can't remember if it was the first meeting or the second appearance of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. He says, I have capacity to detect that the statement that General Mkhwanasi read at the press conference was not generated from his gadget. And we haven't asked him whether such an exercise is lawful or unlawful. And many other witnesses would have come before us and made similar claims. I think honorable members are right, and SC, the hostility between you and General Phahlane must cease, and must cease now. The reason why I'm saying this is because earlier on in the afternoon, he raised concerns about bias, and we made him to withdraw that statement. And we must not assume it inadvertently, because where I stand is that that statement is dead and buried. But if we continue to engage with him in a confrontational manner, or in a manner that generates animosity, we may end up reinforcing certain suspicions. If we can be as professional as possible, and like we have always emphasized that when we engage here, let's have a conversation. Let's not be adversarial or accusatorial. let's engage in a way that it becomes a conversation between us. Thank you.
May I proceed, Honourable Chair? General Phahlane, do you accept that your dismissal is as a result of the alleged irregularities surrounding the award of the tender to Itemba? Do you accept that that is the basis for your dismissal?
Chair, I had my hand up unless I'm not allowed to raise the hand so that I can talk to an issue before I answer that question.
You want to say something before you respond?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
You are very much allowed.
And I'm going to this document. And maybe just to put the Honorable Chair and members at ease. When I came here for consultation with counsel, we have told him that I have, in substantiating what Nkabinde was saying, I have even access to WhatsApp messages and documents emphasizing the point. That was during consultation between him and Advocate Mokhwaiti. And I was with my counsel. 2, it was in that meeting that I also sponsored my relationship with Ket Matlala. I told them up front that there is this thing and I know this person. And I explained the circumstances, how we met. Now, the first document, the WhatsApp messages, which is contained as part of my initial affidavit, they are on page, what is it? They are part of the bundle, it's annexure 30. So, they were here when I was here. The only thing that happened now, because we did not include the McBride Sarah Jane WhatsApps, after Honorable James went into those, because there were issues that I wanted to flag, which I'm not allowed to do because I'm not allowed to go through my affidavit. I then included them as part of the supplementary affidavit. And I said that supplementary affidavit purely carries documents, including the documents that were responding to people who were here, Ramalepe, Ramulove, and Malachi. Those documents, this is responding to that. So, but to close it, Chair, that's why my response was, I got them through the same way that you got them. These are part of the records of our affidavit that served before the Zondo Commission of Inquiry. In my submission when I started, I said, just like General Mukhonazi, we had submitted to the Zondo Commission of Inquiry affidavits. General Mabula, who was the lead investigator in this matter. Now, in this matter, I'm referring to the same matter where Sarah Jane Trent was arrested, where allegedly she was kidnapped. Now, it's very strange in our country that when you arrest someone of a certain complexion, it is kidnapping. But when we arrest everyone else, it's arrest. So, Sarah Jane Trent's cell phone was taken, and I'm using the word loosely taken, during her arrest. And the due processes were followed by the investigation team in terms of having information retrieved from that phone. Because it's a phone that was used for the commission of crime. And the crime we are talking to, case 12 of 1/2017. We still want to know what is happening to that particular docket. I was told I'm going to get answers, even by the evidence leaders. I still don't have. So this is where these SMSs, WhatsApp messages are. So, Chair, I can't help it. If they were in the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, if they are part of the supporting affidavit, I don't know why I must be fingered. But I take ownership for this, because in here I included the affidavit of General Mabula and Brigadier Ngube, who were the investigating officer in this particular matter. And this is part of the evidence. Just like I was talking about the Section 70 evidence, which is there. Similarly, this is evidence. And one day, when there is justice in our country, and that case is being brought back before the court, these are part of the evidence that will be led. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Just for the record, I deny that during consultations there is a transcript, and we'll find it, that General Phahlane alerted us to these WhatsApp messages between McBride and Sarah Trent. It was raised in the McBride evidence, and issues were raised about them at the time. As far as the supplementary affidavit is concerned, I would invite General Phahlane and or his legal team to make available to us his affidavit before the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, and to see whether these WhatsApp messages are indeed attached to that affidavit. I'd be most surprised if it was the case. The affidavit, the main affidavit, the 165-page affidavit, and the supplementary affidavit was entirely the work of General Phahlane and his legal team. We had no hand in it, but I want to record, because he's sitting here and I'm looking at him now, my colleague, Advocate Samanga. I said to him, because we debated this over many days, whether we should make a joint affidavit, because we were not satisfied or happy with a 165-page affidavit. At the end, we agreed, you put your affidavit before this committee, but I'm not bound, the evidence leaders are not bound by what's in the affidavit, and we will ask questions, especially raised by other witnesses. So I will also now leave it there, Honourable Chair. I asked a question, General Phahlane, that your dismissal arises from the Itemba tender.
Honorable Chair, I've answered that question many times, and I'm on record to say I'm not going to engage any further on it. It's a subject of the Constitutional Court process.
So I will also put it to you that it arises from the Itemba contract. And if we look at the forensic reports which has been placed before this honourable committee, and that you have, it has absolutely nothing to do with either McBride or O'Sullivan or Trent. It has got to do with a tender that went wrong and that you were found ultimately to be responsible. And I'll move on to my next
Chair.
question.
Am I allowed to answer?
Honorable Skosan.
Chair, I'm going back again, Chair, because this document, which I think all the members, most of the members here have spoken about, was given to us and were not given by the witness. The witness gave it to the secretariat. If these documents are illegal, they were not supposed to be given these documents. It's an it really is an indictment to us. This is an indictment to us. I mean, how can we have this? And then we are told it's this thing, perhaps there might be some issues about it. Then it means all the things we're questioning about there are illegal as well. It's not fair, Chair, that we are finding ourselves in this mud. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nomban.
No, Chair, once again, I want to reprimand what the senior counsel is doing. You can't put a proposition to a witness and say, let me move to another question, without affording the witness an opportunity to reply. Because here we're not making statements. You put a proposition and allow the witness to respond. Because it's not a statement, it's a proposition. No one is in possession of conclusive evidence here. We're testing evidence. So don't come here and make conclusive statements and say your dismissal was not as a result of influence of McBride and Paul O'Sullivan, and just pass to another question without affording the witness an opportunity to reply. Chairperson, I don't know how many times we must raise this, but the hostility must end. If really the senior counsel has emotional issues against the witness, he must withdraw and allow his colleagues to lead evidence. Because he is not doing well. Senior counsel, you are being emotional, unnecessarily so. And we are not going to allow that. This is our committee. We are not going to allow you to show this hostility to witnesses. We will never allow that to happen. Not under our watch.
Honorable Chair, in all fairness, I did put to General Phahlane that his dismissal has entirely to do with the Itemba tender. He said his response was that the matter is now before the Constitutional Court and is not going to answer. And then I put to him, in a totally unemotional and neutral manner, that I put it to you that if it's got to do with the Itemba tender only, it has nothing to do with the three persons that are mentioned. There's absolutely no emotion in putting it to the witness, and he can respond. General Phahlane.
Thank you, Chair. I have at no point attributed my dismissal to Sarah Jane Trent, or what is it, Robert McBride, or Paul O'Sullivan. At no point. I'll really be glorifying them. So, lastly on that issue, I think I'm very clear on where I stand, having taken legal advice. Chair, this matter, which consumed so much of my time before the committee, where I was not allowed to traverse my affidavit, is before the Constitutional Court as we speak. I've already answered questions to that regard. Now, I'm going to just, in conclusion, read something which actually struck me, and maybe this thing comes too far, and I'm not going to say much. Here is a response that I get from senior counsel following submission of my supplementary affidavit, in which I only attach documents. He writes, "Thank you for the supplementary affidavit which we will forward to the committee for its attention. Please note that we will not be bound by this affidavit and will, in our discretion, ask additional questions and also supplement the evidence bundle with additional documents. And that's precisely what happened here. Chair, I came and I'm leaving without having been allowed to go through the affidavit that I had. The only time that I was able to go through the affidavit was when I was responding to questions. Questions raised based on documents and affidavits which are not part and parcel of my affidavit. But who am I? I'm just a witness. And I guess that's how it is. Thank you, Chair.
May I proceed, Chair? Thank you. General Phahlane, again, if we could just agree some pretty trite, factual submissions, it would help. There are two, and perhaps just to clarify for the Honourable Committee, we're talking about two Kameeldrift cases. There's the one complaint against O'Sullivan, Trent, and IPID when they visited your place, and the other one is the Kameeldrift case where they complained about Mbalula, the Northwest General, his task team. That matter was dealt with by Judge Tuckton, and you have annexed that judgment to your affidavit. Is that right? And the other case, the other Kameeldrift case, where you complain against O'Sullivan and Trent and IPID members, that's the matter you say you're still waiting to hear what's going to happen with that case.
You are incorrect.
Okay, so perhaps let me then finish, and then if I'm incorrect, the Kameeldrift case, the one involving the complaint against O'Sullivan and Trent and IPID members, that's the one that's now been pending for 7 years. That is the one which had been struck off the roll in terms of 352A or something like that of the Criminal Procedure Act, and was struck off the roll. Of course, it doesn't mean the case has gone away. It can still be revived, and we are getting Advocate Mashuga from the NPA here to explain to us what happened in the case, what is going to happen, and what perhaps are the next steps. We don't know. The other case of that Judge Tuckton dealt with is when an interdict was sought against the Northwest team to interdict them from arresting or taking what was described by the applicants, McBride, them as unlawfully harassing them and so on. And in that case, I can read it back to you if you want to. The judge recorded that you had in fact not participated in the case because you gave an undertaking that you will not be involved any further in the matter. And that's in the judgment.
Am I allowed to respond, Chair?
Yes, you can respond.
Yes, of course, General Phahlane.
It is incorrect to suggest there are two cases at Kameeldrift. General Mabula has no case registered by anyone against him at Kameeldrift. The Judge Tuchten's judgment, which was an attempt to interdict, was to interdict them from concluding they are continuing with investigations against IPIT. And which investigation? Against IPIT and O'Sullivan and Sarah Jane Trent, and that is case 12 of 1/2017. Judge Tuchten never interdicted anyone. For your information, to the Honorable Committee, at a point where the matter was argued in court, it was General Mabula and them who were the respondent, and then IPIT were the ones who initiated the matter in court. And then the National Commissioner and the Minister were cited in that particular matter. Both the Minister and the National Commissioner undertook to abide by the, by the decision of the court. Surprisingly, when the matter was argued in court, somewhere the late General Mfazi was canvassed and he came with an undertaking, which undertaking served before the court, while there in the beginning there was an undertaking to abide. And the undertaking was, these members will be removed from the case because the allegation was that it's a counter-investigation. And Judge Tuchten was very clear. He said, I am dealing here, I just want to settle a legal issue. And that's where he said, in the IPIT Act, there is Section 25, which is saying, if, for example, an IPIT member is under investigation or investigating a matter where he or she has got interest, he must report to the executive director. So Judge Tuchten then said, it will be wise to have such a provision in the Police Act. To date, there is no such provision. That is how General Mabula and them were withdrawn from that particular case. And that case moved from one person to the other. That's why we are talking of a matter which is stalling for all these years. Despite the fact that when they stalled it, Advocate Mashuga will be here. They were applying, or they had applied for racketeering certificate because of what was happening, including these WhatsApp messages that are in there. So, Chair, that's where we are with this matter. I can't accept the version of the SC. It's truly misplaced.
I'll just read to you, General, from the judgment of Judge Tuchten, paragraph 8, which is on your annexure MRR-28. Broadly, the applicant sought a declaration as to what would constitute an...
Where is it? Sorry, Council. Where is it? In which?
It's
I think before you proceed, let's agree.
Your
let's
annexures.
Let's agree that in the next 10 minutes, you are concluding. Yeah.
MRR-28. It's the Tuchten judgment. And I'm reading from...
But Honorable Chair, I'm requesting to be told where in my affidavit is it?
Where is this MR8, the Tuchten judgment? It was also next to the annexures. That's MRR-28. What was it in the? Was it in our bundle? But they also included it in the bundle for today, the Tuchten judgment. Chair, because of time, may I just read this, and I'm reading from the judgment. The applicant sought a declaration.
But
as to-
Honorable Chair, there is unfairness on my part. I'm asking where is the document? I don't have it.
I'm asking my colleagues to just locate the document, Chair. It's a Tuckton judgment which has been referred to even by General Phahlane
Just
during the
before,
course of
before
today.
you do that, Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. And I guess the 10 minutes, we will take it, Chair. But I wanted to raise something, Chair. You know, it will sound or looks like the SC is defending Paul also Sullivan, Robert McBride, and Sarah. The way this conversation between himself and the general, it doesn't give confidence, honestly speaking. Chair, the 10 minutes will take, but I can tell you, I mean, some senior SC will really talk to the off record to the SC. Honestly, you know, ever since the last 15, 20 minutes, the way the conversation goes, it doesn't instill confidence. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Look, he is well within the terms of reference. If he's probing because he wants to adduce evidence relating to corruption within the SAPS, he is well within the terms of reference. You know, my biggest worry is that since General Phahlane came here on the first day, we are unable to move out of the courtroom. That is my biggest worry. We have been in the courtroom from the first day. We have been in the courtroom this afternoon, and we are still in the courtroom now. As you move towards concluding, Advocate Arends.
Chairperson, I'm afraid that does happen, even in a hearing of this kind, when there's a dispute over what constitutes the facts. None of what I'm putting to General Phahlane is an ambush or should come as a surprise. I've just been reminded by my colleague Advocate Mokwetsi that this judgment was made available to General Phahlane in hard copy when he first testified, and it was at their request was subsequently emailed to them. So,
Okay, before we proceed, let's take Honorable Sauls.
Chair, we must protect the integrity of this committee. My understanding is that the SC is supposed to lead evidence. So whatever he's talking about has to be in front of the witness, because that's the purpose of consultation. And so we cannot run away from the fact that even if the SC doesn't call it an ambush, but it's an ambush. The witness should have been informed we are going to use this because we're leading, and in cross-examination, because it seems like the SC has chosen to do that too, he should be transparent and fair to the witness. The witness should know, he should lead and cross-examine, but in a fair and a transparent way. Otherwise, it will come across that this committee is not fair and we have chosen a side. And I urge you, Chair, to protect the integrity of this committee. Thank you, sir.
You are making a very valid point, Honorable Sauls. What is the document to which you are referring the witness to?
you're asking a question, Chair?
Yes.
It's a judgment by Judge Tuckton,
Does the witness have...
and the judgment, I had said a few minutes ago the judgment was made available to General Phahlane when he last testified. I think it was on the 16th of January. It was also emailed to them. And it relates to matter that he raises in his affidavit. There's no ambush, there's no unfairness. He deals with the capture of iPad. He deals with what he describes as the Phahlane task team at page 85 of his affidavit.
Yeah, Honorable Source.
These matters are all relevant to the terms of reference,
Yeah.
Honorable Chair.
That is not under dispute. What Honorable Souls wanted to ascertain is whether the witness has that document at his disposal now.
You are 100% correct, Chair. And for the integrity of the committee, seeing that it was sent the last time, can the document just be retrieved and given to the witness? Then we know the witness has it in front of him, as he can continue, and the integrity of our committee is preserved.
Honorable Chair, for the sake of time, I think we also need to be, integrity equals consistency in one's approach to witnesses. We had a situation where a batch of WhatsApps was put to a witness without that witness having sight of it. No one objected. I couldn't object. We couldn't object. At the end of that exchange, when the content of those WhatsApps were communicated to the whole of the country and all the voters and people who voted honourable members into Parliament.
Yeah,
At
but,
that-
but,
at-
but, yeah, but
At
Chair,
that
this is
point-
not correct.
no, no, no,
The, the,
no, no,
the
no, no.
SC is now making it look like
Yeah, SC, I think that we are going to stop the proceedings here.
Chair. But senior counsel has to withdraw, Chair.
No, honorable members, we do not conduct ourselves. We are leadership. We are leadership, honorable members.
Oh, we sit here quiet, you're just quiet.
SC.
No, and it's not the first time
We-
the senior counsel comes here and makes political statements, Chair,
We-
and you sit there,
the
and then
the
you have to
committee-
wait for us to call him out on
The committee
it. He must
agreed-
actually just
agreed
leave right
that,
now, and we must dismiss him.
The committee agreed that
No, it's wrong.
any member who has evidence that they want to pass on to the witness will do so through the legal team. And that is why this morning you saw when we were engaging, before engagement with Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, members came here with documents and they presented them to you. That's what happened. The information that members have used today here is an information that has been provided by the legal team. And they use that information to question the witness. So we don't like it when we have to make judgments on your statements. And I think it's fair that you should help us so that we are not seen to be undermining you and not attaching any value to the work that you are doing to the committee. We very much respect you, and we have said it many times that when we look back where we come from, we look back with admiration on the work that we have done up to so far, and we are now trotting towards the finishing line. We are left with only 2 weeks of these proceedings. And it's very possible that we can safely arrive at the finishing line. And we want to walk together, hand holding each other by the hand to arrive at the finishing line. And that's exactly what we must do. Honorable Souls.
Chair, we always respect and appreciate your wisdom in these matters. We do. But at this juncture, we've been trying to preserve the integrity of this committee. And for the SC to say about us that we are not impartial, that is wrong, and Chair, you must call him out on it. And the SC must withdraw that statement. He made it publicly about us. That statement the SC just made says to the country, our senior counsel believes that we are acting unprocedurally here. He should correct it today and immediately, Chair.
Inconsistently. That's what you said, SC, that we must be consistent. We have been consistent in our work as the committee. And remember, we also have housekeeping meetings where we box each other as committee members to say, this is how we do our things. The last meeting we held was this Monday, because from time to time we evaluate, we assess and evaluate how we do our work. But let me say this to you. When General Phahlane appeared for the first time before the committee, you had the whole day with him. The whole day, the first day. And then he came back today from 2 o'clock. You requested 2 hours, we gave you. And members asked him questions. The list of members has been exhausted. It's almost an hour now since members have finished asking him questions. And I think now we are at a stage where we should conclude these proceedings. If there is anything that you want to say or any question that you want to ask, it's going to be the last question.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much.
Chair, you must withdraw.
I'll come back, Honorable Souls. We need to give the SC chance to...
Why are you lenient on the SC, Chair? The SC has hampered our image. Why are you delaying requesting him to withdraw? It's wrong what he did.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
May he please withdraw?
He must
Chair.
withdraw the statement that he made about the committee.
Honourable Chair, with due respect, I didn't make any disparaging or disrespectful remark about the committee. Not at all. I'm afraid Honourable Sauls is not correct in his recollection of what I said. What I did say was that the Honourable Committee should be consistent in its approach to the witnesses, and I made an example of the emails, the WhatsApp, that were produced
by Honorable James.
By Honorable James in relation to Mr. McBride.
Yeah.
That is the comment.
And what we are saying is that you must withdraw that statement because you were in our meeting on Monday, you heard what the committee said. We are consistent.
Chair, if the remark, which is based on a fact, is disrespectful and disparaging of the committee, then I would unconditionally withdraw it.
No.
Otherwise, Honorable Chair,
You know, earlier during the day, we requested General Phahlane to withdraw a statement. And he said, I withdraw unconditional. So can we withdraw that statement unconditional? Honorable
Chair, that's what I said. Yes, I said I withdraw it unconditionally.
Honorable members, I know it has been a long day. Can we give the advocate chance to withdraw the statement unconditional?
Honorable Chair, honorable members of this committee, I withdraw the statement unconditionally.
Thank you so much. Your last question to General Phahlane.
I don't have any further questions, Honorable Chair.
General Phahlane, do you have any comments that you want to make?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I just want to place it on record that I was invited to assist this honorable committee with the work the committee is supposed to be doing in investigating whatever transpired in the South African Police Service and maybe broader. But my focus is solely closer to home, the South African Police Service. I place it on record that I am bitterly disappointed with myself that I was not able, of course not with a fault of mine, I was not able to place my affidavit and the issues contained therein before this honorable committee. I of course accepted the responsibility that I have to answer questions, and I have done so to the best of my ability. For reasons beyond my control, parts of my affidavit were deliberately skipped, and I did not experience what I know is leading a witness. I was subjected to interrogation. Unfortunately, it can be considered to be leading of evidence, and I'm hurt that this will happen to me in the People's Parliament. Let it not happen to anyone else but me. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Matthys.
Chair, just to close, I think Lieutenant General must know that the reflection of this committee is not only the evidence leader. So we are members of Parliament, and the fact that we've had this discussion shows that there was a sense of fairness in you presenting over here, because we did not allow it. The fact that we've had very heated engagements on there. So when you leave here, I don't think it's fair for you to say that you leave here without you being heard and that you were not protected by members of Parliament. Thank you.
Honorable Ngola.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, we would have seriously observed the proceedings in light of ensuring that there is progress. And I believe that it is important that we put it out there that there is no verdict on anyone in these proceedings in any aspect that would have been led either by members or by the evidence leaders. There is completely no verdict. We are going to assess on the committee deliberations all forms of evidence that would have been submitted to the committee. It's not for us now to either try to project anyone to have been right or to have been wrong. It's important that we run this inquisitorial process in a manner that is dignified, that reflects that we are a parliament of the people. If out of our actions, General Phahlane feels that there are elements where he feels that he would have felt oppressed and congested by pressure from us, we do apologize. We are trying the best we can to ensure that there is impartiality in the process. We are going to deal with all other issues relating to what he has submitted in some of our housekeeping meetings. Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable Souls.
Through you, Chair, General Phahlane, I just want to be clear on the record. I do not apologize for my session with you. I studied your affidavit and asked you and probed you based on your affidavit. So, and I was impartial. I merely focused on the content of your affidavit, and I will not apologize for that. I've done my work as a committee member for the benefit of our country. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. General, this committee had allocated you 1 day from the schedule that we adopted. We have allocated 1 day. And when we met with you, you raised this matter that 1 day will not be sufficient. And the committee agreed to that request that we will get another day. We will come and continue our engagements with you. And what these honorable members are saying is that all the witnesses that have appeared before us, there is not even an iota of evidence presented before us that has been evaluated so far. We are still in the process of gathering evidence. We will, at the end of the proceedings, sit in a series of meetings to evaluate the evidence that individual witnesses would have presented before us. And we will compile a report that will be going to the National Assembly. But remember, if we make an adverse finding against you, we are going to share the report with you before we finalize it for your comments or any other statement that you may want to make. So we want you to live here with that understanding and confidence that we are doing our work in good faith. We are doing our work with utmost integrity. And we want to thank you so much for your time, yourself and your legal team. And we must also thank the evidence leaders, because